Did you know that it's still possible to buy a 2-story home in Edmonton that's almost 2,000 square feet for $400,000? Well, it is if you're willing to do a little bit of work and get your hands dirty. This home in Ermineskin is going to be one that you want to check out. So one of the first things that you'll notice about the house is that you've got brick on the outside. It's definitely a little bit of an older look, but you can update it if you want just by painting the brick, and that would completely transform the curb appeal. You've got a 2-car garage as well as a large driveway, so there's definitely lots of room for parking, as well as spots along the street too. Now, one thing that I do want to point out while we're outside here is there is actually some peeling on the shingles. So the roof is ready to be replaced at this point. This is probably the worst section of the house. If you ask me for some drone photos, I can show you some photos of what the rest of the roof looks like, but that is something that you'd want to look at getting done pretty soon here, is replacing the roof. So let's go in on inside. Again, we've got the brick here. The concrete's all in pretty good condition. And now once we enter the house, we've essentially got tile floor here, which is actually in pretty good shape. So you could keep this tile floor if you wanted to. And this sort of just opens up into the living room on my right, or living room or family room. And this is, it's got laminate flooring in it. And the laminate flooring is not in too bad a shape. You could probably save it. There is a little bit of damage in a few places that you may or may not want to keep, so you might want to consider replacing this floor. We've got a pretty big bay window here, which is nice. It can bring in lots of light. There is a crack in this window, so you'll want to replace that window at least, but more than likely you're going to want to replace the windows in the whole house. So let's continue on. This opens up into a dining area, and in here again you've got the laminate floors. You've got a big window. Plenty of space in here to have a formal dining room. And from here, we can actually connect right into the kitchen. Now the kitchen is in mostly original shape. You've got your wood cabinetry, laminate countertop. You've also got a double sink, a stainless steel sink, and a pretty big window here looking out into the backyard. And what I also like is that you've got a gas hookup. So there is a gas stove here right now, and a microwave hood fan as well. So with this kitchen, you could just, clean it up, do a little bit of maintenance on it, and it would be livable and workable. Or if you'd like, one thing you could look at doing that wouldn't be as expensive as replacing the whole cabinets is you could get the cabinets painted and then just change the hardware, and that'll make a huge difference. The countertop's not in too bad of shape, like you could keep it as is, or you could replace that as well. On the back here, they've actually got like a stainless steel backsplash, which isn't too bad, and a very large fridge. The fridge is so large, it actually, the cabinets had to be disconnected at the top just to be able to fit that in there. So ideally, you would want to put a slightly smaller fridge or adjust those cabinets a bit. However, if you want a completely new kitchen and you're looking for something that's more modern, rather than just working with what you've got here, you could also completely open up the kitchen. So we were just in that formal dining area. If you open that up and then also open this way as well, you could create a brand new kitchen if you took all of this out and even add an island, and it could be a very large kitchen that is more of an open concept. So all depends on your budget and what you've got in mind. Just wanted to throw a couple ideas out there on what you could do with this house. So if we continue further into the rest of the house, there is another little kitchenette area here. So this could be another dining area if you're not using that over there, or you might have a smaller table here. Another big window looking out into the backyard, which is really nice. The backyard actually does face the commercial behind Calgary Trail. So Calgary Trail is just on the other side of that. There's a strip mall right here behind us, but it's actually a pretty big lot. The lot's over 600 square meters. One thing I do want to point out in here is there was a leak in one of the pipes here at one point. The leak has been fixed, but the drywall is damaged, and so the drywall's been cut out, so you would have to put a new piece of drywall in there and redo the texture. So now over here, I'll just get you to follow me here. Over here, we've got nice hardwood floors in here. They're hardwood floors, so they hold up pretty good, so this could work as a family room for sure. And you've got a fireplace over here. Again, you've got the same sort of brick that you have outside, and it is a wood burning fireplace. You might want to get that wet inspected to find out if you can still operate it or if you need to do any maintenance or retrofitting in there. And then you've got some built-in wood cabinets. Again, you could really update this whole area just by painting the cabinets. You don't necessarily have to take them out. You could paint the cabinets, maybe do something like white. You just want to go super simple, and you could paint the brick as well, maybe going something like gray. I'm sure there's some other ideas out there that would be better than mine. I'm not an interior designer by any means, but you could really change the look of this quite easily just by using some paint. So it's a very nice, big sort of living area in here, and it opens up with double doors out onto the deck and the backyard. So we'll head back over this way. I don't think I pointed out, but in the kitchen, there is actually tile in here as well. And the tile is in pretty good shape too. So it's a different tile than what we had at the front of the house, but this tile could be savable as well. Okay, so from here, this hallway connects back to the front door where we were when we first came in. And down here, this is how we get access to the basement, which I'll show you later in the video. For now, let's take a look over here at the half bath. Right down the hall, we do have a little half bath in here. It's a pretty standard small half bath, so nothing too much to look at there. Again, you could paint the cabinets if you wanted to update it a little bit, or just put a new vanity in and a new toilet, and that would really spruce it up quite a bit. Now over here, we've actually got the laundry. There is a washer and dryer included in the sale, and you could definitely fit a full-size washer and dryer in here. It's got easy access from all parts of the house, essentially. You've got your garage over here, you've got another side entrance, and then you can get to the rest of the house from here, so it's pretty convenient. Over here is the side entrance going outside. There's a closet here. If you wanted to, you could close this closet in. And over here is just looking into the garage, which we can show you a little bit of that later. Okay, so next thing is we're actually gonna work our way upstairs to show you the upstairs of this property, and it's got a lot of potential. I didn't point this out when we were at the front, but there is a closet here in the front as well, and now we're back in the front entryway, and we're gonna go upstairs. You've got carpet upstairs. You are gonna wanna replace this carpet. The carpet's past its life, it's ready to go, so you'll wanna take the carpet out and at least replace the carpet. That floor is probably the one that you'd wanna take care of. If you weren't gonna do any other floors, that would be the one to do first. You've got the wood railing. Again, you could update that just by painting it white if you wanted to do something really simple. But let's take a look upstairs. So once we get upstairs, got a couple more lights on here. You have the main bath here at the top, and the main bath, it's actually got a his and her sink, which is pretty cool for a home built in, I think it was 1997 or 1977. So you might want to update this. At the very least, you could paint the cabinets and put new hardware on it. You've got your toilet. The toilet's pretty old. You might want to look at getting that replaced. And you got a tub shower here, which you might want to look at replacing. It does look like it's in a little bit of rough shape, or you might be able to just clean it up really good. There's also another big window here, which is nice to get a lot of natural light in your bathroom. It's an area of the house that often doesn't get a lot of light, so it's pretty cool to see a nice big window there at eye level so you can peer out and get some sun. All right, so now we're going back into the hall. Again, it's the same carpet all throughout upstairs. You do probably want to replace that, like I mentioned. The bathroom does have tile, and that tile does look like it would be savable. So now we're going into the first bedroom. It's a pretty generous sized bedroom, quite large compared to what you'll see in a lot of houses that are around that 2,000 square foot range. I said this house was about 2,000 square feet. I'm just waiting for the measurement to come in, so it's probably gonna be just under 2,000 square feet, but pretty close. But most newer homes, they have bonus rooms, so you usually end up with smaller bedrooms, whereas this house doesn't have a bonus room, so the bedrooms are actually quite generous. And this particular bedroom, it looks out the front of the house, essentially. And you've got three big windows here as well. We've got a couple windows that are damaged here, so again, you'll want to look at getting those replaced. And you've got your closet back here. All right. Over there, we have a linen closet. And then we've got the rest of the hallway. That's the master over there. We'll show you that next. But first, we'll show you this other bedroom, which again is quite large. It's got the same carpet that you'll want to replace, a much bigger closet this time. And again, 3 large windows. There's a couple cracks in some windows here, so you might want to look at replacing those windows too. And then one thing, this is a good room to point out. This house would be completely transformed if you just painted it. So just painting it would make a heck of a huge difference. For the most part, the walls aren't in too bad a shape, but there are a couple places where the walls are damaged, but that's just a simple patch job. If you paint this place and replace some of the floors, maybe do a few of the light fixtures, that would make a huge difference if you're looking at flipping a property, or if maybe you just don't want to spend a ton of money on a house and be competing with so many other buyers that you get bid up on price. Maybe you could look at buying something like this if you're willing to do a bit of work, or if you're willing to hire the contractors to do the work for you. So come on, we'll take a look at the master bathroom, or the master bedroom actually. And in here, very large master bedroom. Again, you got 3 windows. This time you're looking out into the yard, so you got a little bit more privacy here in the master. And then it actually opens into sort of like a walk-through, walk-in closet that also goes into a 3-piece ensuite as well. And this 3-piece ensuite, it's basically just got a tile shower, which you might want to do some work on. It's a little dated. Again, you could update the vanity. You've got another decent sized window in here as well. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the upstairs, the 2 top levels. Next, I'll show you the basement. The basement's undeveloped, so it's unfinished. You can do whatever you want with it, but there's a lot of extra space down there. If you develop the basement, you could be at pretty close to 3,000 square feet of living space, which for $400,000, you don't see that too much right on the market right now. All right, so this is how we get to the basement. We'll head down here. Just give you a quick look at the basement. So you got wide open space that you could develop however you want. And then over here, you've got actually more space. If you wanted to put a bathroom in and not mess around too much, you got your rough-ins for your bathroom right here. So that's where the easiest place to put your bathroom would be. And you've got your utilities over there, hot water tank. This house is actually hot water heating. So it's hot water baseboard heating. It's not forced air. And that is the original system, more than likely, from when the house was built. So the next thing I wanted to show you was to give you a better look at that yard. One of the biggest selling features of this property is the yard. With over 600 square meters of space in your lot, you've got a pretty big backyard, even with a big house like this. If you're looking at newer modern homes that are around 2,000 square feet, you're not going to get a yard this big. So this is a huge plus. Like I said, it does back onto some of that commercial from Calgary Trail. You can hear the noise a little bit from the road over there, but it's not too bad, honestly. Definitely couldn't hear it from inside the house. So you've got a lot of privacy. And being located in Ermineskin, it's really hard to find a house like this in South Edmonton. So it's got a lot going for it. You just got to be willing to put in some of the work, whether you do it yourself or you hire someone. This house has a lot of potential for the right person. And if you're interested in taking a look at it in person, make sure to reach out to me. You can reach me on my cell at 780-819-5508. You can either text me or call me, or you can go to booktrevornow.com, select a time on my calendar, and then I'll call you. Now, I hope you got value out of this video. If you liked it, make sure to like and subscribe so you can never miss my next video. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to check out this playlist for more video walkthrough tours. And if you want to make sure you never miss another video, make sure to subscribe, and that way you'll get notified as soon as I release a new video. Thanks so much for watching.